Yo, what is going on, everybody? Colin here with CH Sports, bringing you guys some more disc golf coverage of the Northwest. And today I'll be bringing you guys some commentary from the 2022 Columbia Cup held at Hornings Hideout. Huge shout out to Madison and Jesse Tomeno at All Day Disc Golf for sponsoring the coverage as well as this event. And a huge thanks to Upper Park Disc Golf as well. Let's get into our players today. First of all, we got Scott Withers from Albany, Oregon. If you guys follow my channel at all, you guys know who this guy is. 1035 rated Oregon killer. Chris Nelson recently joined Team Innova over the offseason, so huge shout out to him. This is his first appearance for the year on CH Sports. Also a new sponsored player is Redalen making the switch to Infinite. He's now up to 1025 rated. Awesome young player out of Oregon. And another young and up-and-comer here in the Oregon area is Hunter Gates out of Hillsboro, Oregon. Currently 952 rated, but on the come-up. Unfortunately, at Hornings Hideout, there is no drones allowed out there, so we will be seeing no drone flights of any of these holes here. This is hole 1. It's 340 downhill, plays probably close to a 300-foot shot. I'm sure these guys are all throwing mids here. Both of those shots are down into the left landing area down there. Should be able to scramble for a par from that side of the fairway. Here's Hunter throwing his 4-time buzz there, hitting an early tree as well. Big shout out to my buddy Kenny Chassis for jumping on B-Cam for me. Definitely a huge help. Here's Cole. Hits most of the fairway. You see him kind of squirt into the fairway a little bit there. So nobody has putts here, but we should see at least the opportunity to scramble for par here. There's the short basket. The short basket's probably about 50 feet of the pin that we're playing to. We'll be playing to all of the disc catcher 28 chain disc catchers. Here's Chris's approach. Gets hung up on that bush, but will have a putt for par. Cole has a little bit of a putt for birdie. We'll see if he runs it. Yeah, Cole's never seen a putt he doesn't like. He gives it a little bit of a bid. Probably going to leave himself a little bit of a tester for par. Here's Hunter's putt for par. Let's see if he runs it. Yeah, gives it a good bid. Even tickles a chain. I have a feeling it probably took off a little bit down the hill. What you can't see from the camera angle here is that there's a huge cliff after the basket, which is why you see Scott Withers deciding to lay up here and concede the bogey. We got Chris from a tough lie, but he spins that XD in there. Here you see he's thanking the headwind for keeping that disc up for him. And we're going to take another look on our first resistance disc slow-mo replay of the day. Spinning that red XD in there. That's a great putt from Chris. Yeah, here we see Hunter hit some chains, and he even takes off down the hill a little bit here. Wow. Kind of throwing an approach here. Doesn't even really have a putt. And he's still going to leave himself a tester. That'll now be for double bogey. And here you see, this is what happens when you run this putt. Cole has about 25 feet coming back up the hill for par and can't convert. So now Hunter's got this tester for double bogey. Just a little high. That's one of the strengths of Hunter's game for sure, is his putting. And there you see Scott conceding the bogey. Not the worst score that can happen on this hole, as you'll see one of our competitors do here. Here's Cole for bogey now. Looking fresh in his new Infinite gear. And tough start for Hunter Gates, but plenty of holes. 35 left for the tournament. Coming off of hole 1, here's our scores. We got Scott and Cole Redalen picking up the bogeys there. Chris with the lone par, and Hunter Gates, unfortunately, with the triple bogey. Rough start, but plenty of holes. And we'll step right into hole 2. Hole 2 is 410 feet. It's a long turnover shot for the righties. You can also throw a forehand here. You're basically just trying to get out this gap and then move right and get it to go forward 410 feet. Scott does elect for the forehand here, and there you see it finish. Probably coming up about 70 to 80 feet short there, so didn't quite get it to push forward long enough. Cole electing for a different play here than I've seen in previous rounds. Cole going for the roller here and gets up there to a putt. You see that bush moving there. That's probably about 40 feet away from the basket. Hunter's also going to go to the turnover air shot with his Avenger SS. And doesn't quite turn it over enough. You see it pretty much just went dead straight. Probably pretty close to pin high, but he's going to be pretty far left and won't really have a putt. Here's Chris scrambling for his par. He's going to have another long par putt. 2 holes back to back. Let's see if he can make that one. Here's Hunter Gates. Pretty much just laying up for the par, maybe giving it a slight bid. And Scott out here at the edge of circle 2. Gives it a run, but not quite able to convert. And here's the most legitimate birdie putt of the group. Just a little low from Cole Redalen with his new 5s from EV7. And Chris, like I said, 2 long par putts to start the day. And just a little low on that one. Couldn't quite get the XD to stay in the air there. And looking like a couple routine pars here, and then we'll see the 1 bogey from Chris Nelson, unfortunately. Scott still putting with the Chally SS for this year. If you haven't yet, go check out his recent In the Bag resistance discs posted in the bag for Scott this year, so go check that out if you haven't yet. And like I said, Chris tapping out the bogey there. All right, here's our scores after hole 2. Everybody's over par. For those that don't know, this is probably the hardest course in Oregon. You'll ask a lot of the pros here, and a lot of them will tell you this is the hardest course in Oregon. And you can see it here, all 4 of our competitors. These are 3 of the top, probably all 3 of the top players in the state. And they're all over par. And Scott going for the thumber line here. Hole 3, it's kind of a funky hole. Few different options here. Really, the name of the game here is getting it to stop on the green. Similar to hole 1, this green feeds down into a cliff after the basket. Hunter going for the same line Cole just did. Let's see if he can execute it a little bit better. Oh, and hits just a late tree there. Had the line perfect. Hits a late tree. Probably be about 70 short of the basket. Chris going back to his gator. And that looks pretty good. That should be maybe just outside circle 1. And Scott going to have to scramble for par again here. Going to his zone. Turns it over slightly, but there you see it finish. And yeah, he's got about 10-15 feet for par there. Again, huge shout out to Kenny. This is really helping out the coverage, having a B-cam down there. And there you see Cole hits the last tree. And he's going to have a tester putt for par, but does have a par putt nonetheless. And Hunter lays it up off of that post there, but that'll do. He'll have about 10 feet left for par. Cole with a tester for par. And there you got it. Those who haven't seen Cole play yet, he definitely, that's the strength of his game, is his putting, and then especially long distance putting. And Chris, pretty quick routine, just off the band there for birdie. And like I said, you can't really see it on coverage here, but these guys are putting into a cliff here, so anything that misses the basket entirely could be pretty long ways down there. Nobody really going to get hit by it. Chris has a little bit of a tester, but he'll knock that one in there from about 10-15 feet up the hill. And no damage done for our competitors here, I believe. All pars on hole 3. Yep, like I just said, all of our competitors grabbing the par there. Pars are what you're looking for on pretty much any hole out here. You know, that's the thing, is every hole out here is birdieable for these MPO competitors, but you know, bogey and double bogey is also possible, sometimes even more. And there you hear Scott frustrated. He's hit 3 out of the first 4 trees available. Let's see if he can scramble for another par. Cole has a good one up there so far. Let's see how it finishes up on the green. And it skips down the hill a little bit, but he'll have a putt for birdie. And Hunter Gates going to the force here. Looks good so far. Oh, smacks it off the front of the basket. Man, what a throw from Hunter Gates right there. Let's take another look at it. Going to his force. This is kind of the play here. We're going uphill pretty significantly. The hole, I believe, is listed at about 330, but it takes about a 400-foot shot to get there, especially if you throw the Hyzer line. And there we see the finish right off the front of the basket. Man, what an ace that would have been. But he'll settle for the tap-in birdie. And now we got Chris. Also has this on a good line, going to his Halo TL3, and man, those are two of the best drives I've ever seen on the hole back-to-back there. Scott having to go back to an overhand.
That seemed good.
Yeah, and you hear him say, that seemed good. Gets it all the way up to the green. That's a pretty good scramble shot from that position. And here's Cole Redalen from about 35 feet. The basket is pretty high up above him. And spins it on in there. Look at those fives just finding the chains for him. Outside the circle, and like I said, Cole's distance putting, definitely the strength of his game. And, you know, so far we've had 3 already slow-mo replays. The guys are putting on a show here. Cole Redalen finds the center chains. Great putt there from Cole. Scott looking to save par. Probably has about 30 feet down the hill. And just a little high for Scott. That's the thing with this course is if you don't get off the tee clean, you are just scrambling so hard to fight for par. And even Hunter here hit the basket. Still has a tester for his birdie. Birdies are available out here, but man, every hole can also turn into a blow-up hole. A little high, but it sticks for Hunter there. That's a great birdie. The rare ace run birdie. You don't see that too often. And look at Chris having to go to the basketball putt, but gets it to drop in there.
Let's go.
Great putt there from Chris.
Coach K, basketball putt all day.
And there we go. We're seeing some green now on the scorecard. We got 3 birdies there, and then the 1 bogey from Scott. Everybody's still in it. We'll kick it over to a couple of our sponsors. Welcome back as we step up to hole 5. Pretty significantly downhill and moving to the left.
Like 40 short now. Would have gotten there.
And that lands about 25 feet short there for Cole. The hole is listed at 260. Probably only plays about 230 or 220 of that. Most of these guys are going to be throwing pretty slow discs. And there you see Hunter throws a zone and goes about 50 feet long of the basket there. Kenny trying to show us where that disc ended up. And Chris going back to his glow gator. Starts it out on a pretty good line, and yeah, about pin high. Probably about 20 feet left for Chris's birdie putt. This is one of the easier holes on the course, but definitely not an easy hole by any means. Lots of trees to miss. Scott going to a challenger, I believe, here. And that's a great shot. Hunter not really going to have a look for birdie. Smartly lays up for par there. And Cole Looking like he's going to have to reach around this tree here, but does have a putt. And just off the top there. Yeah, tough to not take advantage of this hole. Like I said, one of the easier holes on the course, and you know harder ones are coming. And Scott with a nice 25-foot downhill putt there. That's a good one to get his round going. Kind of stagnant to start the round. Already 2 bogeys going into this hole, so nice to get something going in the other direction. And Chris wasted no time, puts it right in. And we'll see a couple of par tap outs here. First Cole and now Hunter. Hunter putting with the new Rocket Roaches. And that's it for hole 5. Hole 5 plays pretty quick. We got 2 birdies and 2 pars there. Scott getting back on the right track, and Chris going to be our first competitor under par for the round here. Just for reference, any round under par here is really good. And here's Chris on the 350-foot hole 6. We're going way uphill. Chris almost nails our B-cam guy.
God, this hole sucks.
Chris will have a putt for birdie there. This one's a tough one to access just because it is so uphill. And then you got to get it to move even farther left than where you see Kenny in the frame there. And Scott going to have about 35, 40 feet for birdie there. And Cole doesn't like it out of the hand, but it does get all the way up there. He's going to have a putt, probably about 25, 30 feet short of the basket, but right on line. And honestly, that's the way to kind of park the hole. It's tough to actually peer the line and then park the hole just because it does have to move so far left. And there you see Hunter finding the danger here at Hornings. Any tree can kick you down into a really tough spot to scramble for par. There you see some forward progress. Hunter still has a really tough look for par here. Yeah, hitting one of the trees there. He's still going to have a bit of a tester for bogey. And Scott a little bit further than what I previously anticipated. Oh, man, gives it a great run.
Whatever.
Just short off the front tray. And now here's Chris. Probably about the same distance we just saw Scott from. Yeah, the bush catches it there. Not too bad. Gave it a good bid. And gets to sit right there for par. Now we got Cole putting way uphill. Yeah, another great putt there from Cole Redalen. It's tough to get on film exactly how uphill these putts are. Like, for example, even Hunter right here from 20 feet or so, his head is at maybe the bottom of the tray, and he's a pretty big boy. He's 6'4", 6'5". And, yeah, the undulations on these greens are pretty insane. It's one of the things that makes this course pretty difficult. And our card averages out to a par here. We're going to see 1 birdie and 1 bogey from the card. Honestly, pretty good scoring there. That hole can turn into a pretty big number. So for our card to average par there, not too bad. Hunter's got to get it going in the other direction here. Kind of falling off the pace a little bit. And here's our first par 4 of the round, hole 7. The hole's 530 and probably plays about that just because the first shot, even though the first shot is significantly uphill, the second shot is significantly back down the hill. So the distance probably is pretty accurate here, 530. These guys are looking for a shot that's turning right the whole way, whether it's a backhand turnover for the righties here or a forehand like you saw there from Cole Redalen to start the card. Everybody looking like they're in pretty decent position here. Now we see Hunter go to his Avenger SS. It's a little overturned, but even that is still in the fairway. Anything up on the flat, you can still save your birdie from. Hunter had that working pretty good, but hits the 1 tree in the gap. There you can see a little bit of the basket through the trees. Chris going back to his handy-dandy pig here. And just inside of that 1 tree. And gets all the way down there to a putt, but just like all the other greens here, it's on pretty much a cliff. So if you just don't find the landing zone, it's easy to get your upshots to run away on you a little bit. Cole with a great touch zone approach there. Puts it inside the circle for sure. And now we see Scott. This is kind of one of the strengths of his game, throwing this little slight anti-touch forehand shot. Going to his zone. He thinks it's short, but I think he's going to be just fine and like that result there. Hunter looks like he's laying up for bogey. This is another one that just past the basket here is a huge cliff. And now we see Chris putting from lower down on the cliff and just kind of laying up for par there. And Cole, yep, finds the basket. Another birdie for Cole. He's got it going now. And here we see Scott. Probably about 10 feet or so for his birdie as well. And then we'll see the other two competitors tap out for par. Yep, there's Chris's par, and then we'll see Hunter come along and tap in his par as well. There's our scores for hole 7. We got 2 birdies and 2 pars. We got everybody kind of right where you want to be through 7 now. Chris under par as well as Cole getting to 2 down now. That's a great round going so far. And now we go to the top of the world shot here at Hornings Hideout, hole 8. This hole is 420 but plays about 300 feet just because it's so far downhill. And pretty much the hardest hole in disc golf to film. I decided to switch to this secondary camera view just because I couldn't really see where Cole's disc finished up at. Here's Scott. It's a miss, but it's a good miss. Off to that right side, it's actually pretty easy to save your par from if you get close to pin high. Chris looking for something similar, but hits a tree, and that's about the only thing you can't do on this hole. Anything that gets down to the flat is great on this hole. Hunter going to his ringer GT here. And it looks like it's starting on a pretty good line. Looking like it's going to be similar to Scott's shot. Almost aces the short pin. And that'll be about 45, 50 feet. And here we see Chris. Man, if you hit an early tree on this hole, it is so hard to scramble for your par. And there you see it. Hits another one. So now he's going to have another forehand approach. Going to a gator now. Let's see if he can try and get up and down for his bogey here. And he's going to have an opportunity to save his bogey. Here's where Hunter ended up. Looking at a birdie putt. Gives it a little bit of a bid. And yet again, we're putting onto a little bit of a cliff here. And Scott's worried about it. Going to have about 20, 25 feet for his par. Cole with another birdie putt and just off the left side. And there it goes. As soon as it gets moving down that other side of the basket, it could end up anywhere. And we'll see where Cole ended up here in a second. Chris not able to convert, not able to save his bogey. So now he's going to have a putt for double bogey. This is where Cole ended up. All the way on the other side of these bushes here. And even gives that a good bid. Just off the band. Man, this hole is not taking it easy on our MPO feature card here. And you see Scott even laid up for par and still ran a little bit into these bushes, but able to convert. That's how you get to 1035 rated. Being able to convert from wherever you are. And Cole had a great birdie putt. Just about a foot or so from sticking, but gonna take the bogey after running that putt, and then Chris hits the first tree and takes a double bogey. Let's see if Hunter can save his par here. Has a little bit of a tough putt from the inside of this bush, but should be able to reach out far enough to have a decent look. And Hunter knocks it down. You know, after that triple bogey start, really going shot for shot with pretty much everybody else on the card. And here's our scores from hole 8. That's what can happen really quickly on this hole. We see 2 pars, but the double bogey from Chris and the bogey from Cole. Stepping up to hole 9, you're going to see our competitors go pretty quick here. This is pretty much the one hole on this course that I would say needs the redesign the most. It's a forehand shot that really you can't access the pin. Your best opportunity is getting to maybe like a 70, 80 footer, but way uphill, so it plays like a 120-foot putt. And you see Hunter pushes it a little long there. Gonna have a little touchy approach. This is kind of the shot you're looking for. Go on that inside line, and that's about as good as you can do it, really. That's going to give him a long bid for 2 at least. And with Cole's putting prowess, we might see him give it a run.
Nice move. Nice move. You can be cameraman.
Kenny letting our viewers there know that they can be the cameramen with that dodge. And that's a great approach there from Chris. And these are like 100-foot approaches that are playing like 150 to 175-foot approaches just because it's so far uphill. I think this hole would be great if we just played it to the short pin always, because the short pin is still a tough birdie, but at least gives you the opportunity to, you know, throw a forehand, or maybe even in between where the 2 baskets are now. At least give people a chance to get the birdie. This one, it's you know, pretty much chuck it to where Scott and Cole were and hope you throw something in. And now we see Hunter with another tough par putt. And just off the left side there. Yeah, it's tough to put down a good score on this course unless you have everything going right. And we're going to see couple of par cleanups here, and then I believe Hunter's going to be tapping out a bogey. And there it is. Well, there's our front 9. Thanks for tuning in. Let's check out our scores one last time. We see Hunter with the 1 bogey there, and the other 3 competitors pretty close. Pretty much what you expect to see out of the top 3 players in the state. Hunter, his first time on film, putting together an okay round so far. Anything that's close to even par is pretty solid score out here. Thanks for checking out the front 9, and we'll see you guys on the back. Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.